Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, for giving us this truth. Double honor to all the elders, teaching on the four corners of the earth, teaching in truth and sincerity. To you, I say shalom. Brother Khan from the Sept, the Lions of Judah, Jeshurun here in Chicago, to you, I say shalom. Coming at y'all with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. The title of this video is going to be titled, "The Triumphing of the Wicked is But for a Moment." It's the book of Sirach, chapter 1, verse 29. Be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest. You know, in this community that we're in as Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, we could be so quick to rebuke somebody and not understand that we're dealing with the same folly or the same sins. So the Bible said, what? Take good heed what thou speakest. So sometimes you got to observe everything and take good heed of what you speakest. All right, because you don't want to be trying to rebuke somebody, and guess what? You're not examining your own self. Wait a minute, am I doing this? Am I doing that? Am I doing this? So the best thing that you should do is pray and try to abstain from those sins that you're battling, all right? Because we don't want to be a hypocrite in the sight of man, all right? Who is the biggest hypocrite on this planet? Esau, all right? Esau, Edom, all right? They break their own laws. They break their own rules of the land. And look at this country, man. This country is at an all-time end. And you don't want to be attached to this society, all right, as a hypocrite in the sight of man. Okay, let's get that again. Sirach chapter 1, verse 29. Be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, a lot of our people, they be so quick to want to rebuke somebody and hold the scripture, and whole time they cutting their own self. And what you should do, you should say, wait, am I examining my own self? Is this applying to me too? Yeah, because the Bible is a two-edged sword. Every scripture that you bring out, you're getting cut in the process. All right, if it lines up. So you got to take good heed what you saying. It's the book of Job 20, verse 5. Yeah, Job 20, verse 5, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment, man. So a hypocrite have joy with being a hypocrite, with not getting right in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, with trying to rebuke somebody, and you need to be rebuked. And like I said, the biggest hypocrite on this planet is the so-called white man, okay? Because he tell you not to break his laws, but guess what? He break his own laws, and before he established those laws, he was breaking and destroying the land. All right, you put the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians in slavery. You took this land from the Native American Indians, all right? So you the biggest hypocrite on this planet. And that's why Yahweh shall say, ye of your father, the devil. So any of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you a hypocrite, you get that from who? First of all, you get that from the lack of understanding of the Bible. And then this society that we live in, okay? This society that we live in, because they make it normal and they make it cool for sin to rule in this place. Right? So they make it normal for sin to run rapid. That's why Yahweh said, iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Because iniquity shall abound, man. Because there's too much hypocrisy going on within, you know, our community. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 5. Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. Okay? So you got a whole beam in your eye and your brother just got a little bit of mote. And guess what? You condemning your brother and you going off worse than that brother. This is crazy. What are we reading? We're reading the Bible, man. So you trying to cast a little bit of mote out of your brother's eye, but the whole time you got a big ass beam in your eye. All right. So you pretty much damn near like Esau Edom, the so-called white man, because he's, like I said, he's the biggest hypocrite on this planet, and he breaks his own laws. All right. He's unruly. He's not a truth. He's not a true ruler. He's not fit to be the vanguards of the planet. And guess what? You following right in his mire by trying to cast out the beam out of your brother's eye, and or casting out the mote out of your brother's eye, and you got a whole beam in your eye. All right. It's the book of 1 John chapter 4 verse 20. If a man say, I love Yahweh, and hateth his brother, he is a liar, for he that loveth not his brother whom he have seen, how can he love Yahweh whom he have not seen? Yeah, so what is love? Love is when you keep the commandments, all right? So the Bible say, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Now, what is hate? Hate could be false correction. All right, hate could be false correction. You trying to correct the brother and the whole time he ain't even did nothing wrong. But look what you doing. But you would not allow somebody to correct you. Hypocrisy. All right, hypocrisy at its finest. Your brother, he ain't got no fault, but you rebuking him though. And that's what we got to fix, Israel. We got to fix that as a nation. All right, living in these last days, because time is expiring. All right, time is expiring. All right, Galatians 6 verse 3. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. So a lot of you brothers, you get these breakdowns, these precepts, and guess what? You're not dealing with the basics. All right, you don't need all the meat. All you need is the milk. All right, because the meat can choke you up. All right, you're getting deep with all these breakdowns and precepts, and you forgetting the basics. All right, the basic instructions, man. And that's the problem. Let's go back to the book of Sirach, chapter 1, verse 29. Be not a hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed without speakers. Because remember, like I said, the Bible is a two-edged sword. And in the process of trying to cut somebody, you can get cut in the process. Now, if you ain't a hypocrite, then by all means, you could correct and do whatever. But guess what? If you following under the folly, then guess what? You ain't got no room to say nothing about nobody. And that's just flat out. You know, the so-called white man, he can't say nothing about nobody, because guess what? He is the man of sin. He is the son of perdition. All right, he is the wicked according to the Bible. So, you know, don't be like the so-called white man, because this dude is destroying the whole planet. And let's get it. It's the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right, so the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. This man is a hypocrite, man. Okay? And that's why when Yahweh shall come back, these people will never rule the planet ever again. All right? They will never rule this planet, because they also cause our people to become hypocrites. Because a lot of you jakes out there, you work for this man, and you have to compromise your culture to fit in. Okay? You have to compromise your culture, all right, these law, statutes, commandments to fit in. And that's what's causing you to be a hypocrite in the first place. You got a jake, You'll have a Jake making like $100,000 a year or close to $100,000 a year, and he came from the gutter and the struggle in the hood, and guess what? Now he's looking down upon his people, and he come from that same environment. That's what you would call a hypocrite in the sight of man, because guess what? You got little boys and girls that's still in the struggle, and guess what? You looking down on your people because you made it out, and that's what we need not to be. All right, so with that, I hope this video was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. With that, Shalom.